I wanted to post a video about our self-care module. That's the ELD Remote Learning Module 2. We've had some sessions about it over the last couple weeks, but I know not everybody could make it to those sessions. If you're wondering when classes are, please remember to check your email on Fridays. Mr. Collins is sending out an email to students every Friday to remind them how to participate in the online classes. You will not get an invitation from me. You have to check the schedule. Check your email. Okay. These slides are available in Canvas, and if you have the slides, you can click here and go to my YouTube channel to access this video, which you probably already did. And you can click, actually I'm going to delete that. I did not make vocabulary slides, but there is a Quizlet. So I will change that so that it will link to our Quizlet set if you want to study vocabulary. There's no vocabulary test. It's just for you to learn. Learning's good. Guys, it's almost summer, but you got to keep learning. Okay. So what is self-care? There's an article in your packet about self-care. It tells you what self-care means, what that term means. It also talks about different types of self-care. And I want you to think about why self-care is an important idea for you right now. So self-care means taking care of ourselves. It means the things we do for ourselves. You all are getting older. You're not adults, but you're getting older, and you are doing some more things for yourself, especially if your family is busy or stressed. Maybe you're having to do more things for you. Or maybe you're having to do things for your family. Okay, I want you to think about if you are helping to care for your little brother or sister, or you're helping cook, or just helping keep the house clean, spending time with your parents and doing the things they need you to do. What are you doing for you so that you can stay healthy and happy throughout this whole experience and throughout life, really? So when you're reading that article, I want you to think of some ways that you can take care of yourself on a regular basis. I've just realized there's something that I need to add to these slides, but I'll just talk about it. So after you read the self-care article, there's this notes sheet. We had a session where we started these notes together. Okay, so at the top of every concept map, you want a one-sentence definition. So I specifically, I changed this concept map to make it easier, but every concept map will have a definition there. So define self-care, what is it? Okay, I filled in the category notes because this is the hardest part for most students to understand. When you're studying a new concept, it's important to know what type of thing it is. Okay, what category does it go into? So self-care is a life skill. It is something we must learn to do, and it will help us have a good life. Okay, now all those things are categories because there are other things that are life skills. There are other things we must learn to do, and there are other things that will help us have a good life. And self-care is one of those things. That's why these three things are three categories for self-care. What three basic types of self-care does the article discuss? Okay, now you should probably cross out examples because you have, non-examples, cross that out, erase that, because you have examples. What three basic types of self-care does the article discuss? They give you examples. I'm going to give you a hint. One of those is nutrition, eating well. Okay, nutrition. So look in there, look at the subheadings, look at the subtitles, and you find the other examples of types of self-care they give you. Okay, for here, usually you would do 3 elements of the concept. 3 elements. That means 3 parts of the concept. 3 characteristics that it has. For us, for this article, I said, look through the article and find 3 benefits of the strategies that the author suggests. So when you list the examples of the types of self-care you can do, here you're listing the benefits of doing some of those things. How does self-care help you? That's what a benefit is, something that helps you. Okay, so then after you finish your notes on the self-care article, you are reading Cinderella, and then there's an adjectives activity at the end of that, and it focuses on Cinderella's character traits. So do that little activity after the story. Then you have a bubble map to write down the character traits of Cinderella. A character trait is something that describes a character. Okay, it doesn't describe, how tall they are or whether they're American, Mexican, European, French, whatever. That doesn't describe those things so much. A character trait is something that is in their personality. It describes who they are, how they act, what they believe, how they are emotionally in general. Okay, so think about Cinderella. What are Cinderella's major traits? How would those traits affect her in her situation? And before her fairy godmother arrives, what type of self-care should she practice? So her life gets better after the fairy godmother comes and she falls in love and everything. But before that, what kind of things would she need to do to take care of herself? Okay, so this is the bubble map. You have it on a full page. Make sure you read the character trait bank. Now, if there are some unfamiliar words here, use a dictionary and look them up. But you only need 4 character traits that you believe describe Cinderella. You only need 4. So find words here that you understand. Find words that are familiar to you. If there really aren't any, then you do need to use a dictionary. You can use an online dictionary or Google Translate or whatever and figure out what those words mean. There just wasn't room in the packet to find them. Okay, so then for each bubble, you're going to list a trait. So you can copy this one if you want and then add 3 of your own, but I think Cinderella is very confident, which I think is very amazing because she's had a very difficult life and she's never been told that she was beautiful or worthwhile, but she is still pretty confident. And the evidence I saw for that is when she's at the ball and she's talking to the prince and he says, I feel like I've seen you before, but that's impossible. And she says, many surprising things are possible, says Cinderella. And she's sort of like flirting with him. And she also still has hope. And she's, she's like flirting with him. I thought that was a pretty confident move. It shows a lot about her. So the text evidence means to choose an example from the story that shows that Cinderella has this character trait. So in other words, basically, prove you can describe her like that. So this evidence should prove that she is confident. And I think it does. I think it's pretty good evidence. Try not to repeat ideas in these bubbles. So since I said confident, I'm not going to put brave in another bubble because I feel like brave is very similar to confident. Okay, they're very similar. So try to choose different ideas about her. Okay, then once you finish that, you're going to pretend like you're a very good friend of Cinderella's who knows her traits very well, knows her personality, right? Best friends, besties. And you're going to write her a letter. And this is just a simple friendly letter format. Make sure you follow the format letter format is important when you write a letter. I know you don't write letters all the time in your life these days because we write a lot of emails and texts, but it's still nice to know the basic format of a letter because you never know when you'll need to send a thank you note or something like that. Also, I'm going to tell you, with social isolation right now, social distancing, it's really nice to get something in the mail. So think about sending your grandma or your friend or your cousin an actual letter in the mail. They might really like it. Okay, so some tips for this letter. Remember, you are her friend giving her advice. So build her up, be encouraging, okay? Make her feel good. You're her friend. You're her bestie. You can point out ways she is already probably practicing self-care. So if you think there's something she probably already does to practice self-care, then you can list that. Try to stay focused on the story in the packet, though, not just the Disney movie. Okay. Use imperative sentences, commands to suggest what she should do. The verb is the first word in a command. Most of you know this. For example, here's a pro tip. Make sure you stay as clean as you can. It will keep you healthy. Okay, so she always has ashes and cinders on her. And of course, you're going to, encourage her to try to stay clean. And she'll probably feel better too. And this closing right here from Mrs. Sousey, I don't really like this closing. I have never seen a letter with a closing like that. Usually it would say something like, sincerely, Mrs. Sousey. But you can have fun with your closing, okay? Make your closing warm and friendly. Say like, your friend, Vanessa. Or, hope to see you soon. Love, Saul. Something fun, something personal. Guys, the letter can have some personality in it. Just use good English, okay? Like correct English. It's not, even though it's a friendly letter, it's an assignment for school. I need to see complete sentences. But you can put some personality in there. Have some fun with it. Have a sense of humor. I want to see you in that letter. Okay, when you are finished, you're going to turn it in. That can be, you can take a photo and mail it to me, or you can turn it in on Canvas. I prefer you turn it in on Canvas. I will not lose your work there. I will make sure I grade it and put it in the grade book. However, I am looking for work in email right now with the school closure. So if you email it to me, I should get it. But if you don't see a grade in the book by next Monday or Tuesday, email me again and remind me because, I might be getting a lot of student emails at that point. Okay, so you're going to turn in your self-care concept map notes, your character traits bubble map, and the friendly letter to Cinderella. And I have to add something because I forgot. You are supposed to make your own self-care plan. One of the last pages in your packet. Don't forget, that's the fun part. You get to decide what you're going to do for yourself. Some people have already handed that in and it was fun. This is not a hard assignment, you guys. Then stretch, hug your family, eat something healthy, or take a nap. The whole point of this packet was to get you to think about, are you just curled up over your phone watching YouTube and TikTok videos? Or are you doing things that are going to keep you healthy and safe and happy? All right. I hope you're all taking care of yourself. I know it can be a hard time, but it sounds like some of you are having some good fun with your family. So keep it up. Keep up the good attitude. And we have one more packet left, and then it's summer. So hang in there. Check the schedule for the classes. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.